Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. And welcome, my friends, to Secret Origins Month! Admittedly more like Secret Origins 3 weeks. Yeah, after everything that happened in October, decided to take the first Monday of November off. And unfortunately, the last week of November is going to the belated premiere of Late Night Double Feature. I'm just saying, man, I paid to rent the space, and then you told me we had to put it off. Couldn't even get the horror show out in October. Yeah, well, Christmas intrudes too early into October too, so it's only fair we push back, Clive. Anywho, let's talk about Captain Mar-Vell. The Marvel one. Yeah, no. It's amazing, though, how this character's name has such a massive history with so many characters wanting it. I mean, I kind of made it a recurring gag whenever we talked about Billy Batson and his Captain Mar-Vell. And yes, I'm still sticking with that. Screw calling him Shazam. But yeah, it's relevant here. So as I said back in the Wiz Comics #2 review, a lawsuit between DC and Fawcett Comics caused them to stop publishing Captain Mar-Vell. The trademark for the character lapsed, so in 1967, Mar-Vell took advantage of that and quickly created the comics we're talking about today. It makes sense. When you've got a dude named after the company itself, and the name itself sounds pretty good, you want to make sure you're the one making it. I mean, Captain Mar-Vell is a name that inspires thoughts of wonder and amazement. No one's really clamoring for a hero called Captain Comcast. Though I definitely see them as a villain. And they weren't even the only one trying for it. The company MF Enterprises released their Captain Mar-Vell book a year before Marvel did. Marvel ended up basically paying them to stop publishing their book so they could have the name. And thus, since then, they kept the title going in one form or another to ensure that DC, and no one else, would be able to use that title for a book. Hence why the title of Billy Batson's book, and subsequently the film, were Shazam and not Captain Mar-Vell. Despite Marvel revamping the character a few times to not great acclaim. Captain Mar-Vell was just not a huge sales success, but it kept the name going until finally given to Carol Danvers, who even in Marvel was more like the 4th or 5th person to hold it. And while we could talk about Carol's first appearance, since she's the most popular iteration, well, much like with Golden Age versus Silver Age versions of DC characters, I feel it's important to give credit to the original first. So let's dig into Marvel Superheroes #12 and see the first appearance of this Captain Mar-Vell, aka Mar-Vell, with, like, a hyphen for the 2 syllables.
Linkara's gonna teach you all a lesson you won't learn. Brodsky, you're not the smartest. Life out, you're not an artist. Anyone who's had a bad comic published, it could be your turn. Linkara, he's a man punch, wears a pretty hat. Linkara, he has a magic gun. Where'd he purchase that? Linkara, coins, robots, Amazon and trucks. Linkara, this comic sucks. Linkara.
The cover's pretty good, not flashy on details, but really kind of displays how significant an appearance it is. Primarily with the crowd of people all staring in shock and surprise at the good captain's appearance. Hell, there's even this dude in the background who's climbing a pipe in order to get a good look at him. Or maybe he's actually playing a really intense game of Hitman and is just happy nobody sees him right now. Then we have the captain's costume. Gene Colan, who does the art of the issue, said that he actually hated this outfit and had no input on the conception of Captain Marvel. Thought he looked too generic. Honestly, I kinda like the costume overall. Green and white is a nice combination, especially since it's not one used a lot in superhero outfits. The only thing that might be a bit iffy is the ringed planet logo. I like it as a logo, but if he's supposed to be an intergalactic being, it kinda narrows his scope to only ringed planets. Or maybe he was the official mascot of the Sci-Fi Channel when it first launched. All new, never seen before, the coming of Captain Marvel. Purchase your tickets from Fandango today. We'll be skipping over the other stories and focus solely on Captain Saturn stuff. We open on this... Okay, I guess I owe Greg Land an apology. Apparently those shots of Arcana from Ultimate Power weren't lifted from porn. They were actually taken from Captain Marvel here doing the splits on his space glider thing. I mean, yeah, it's a good thing there's nothing phallic between his legs in this shot too. It might make this kinda silly or something. Phase 1. And so it begins. Yes, his inability to sit properly now begins. We see a group of people on a spaceship approaching Earth. At the break of dawn, a mighty starship approaches the tiny planet Earth. How does dawn work exactly when you're in space? A ship that has traversed half the universe to reach our unsuspecting world from the far-off galaxy ruled by the mysterious Kree. Everyone is really looking forward to finally getting to the hotel. Thus we meet our title character, Mar-Vell. Stanley, always the master of subtlety. He's being sent down to Earth alone instead of with a full landing party. Medic Una will administer the breathing potion to you. Una says this is against standard procedure for him to go down alone. Privately, Mar-Vell tells her it's because their leader, Colonel Yonrog, knows that the two of them are together, but he secretly wants him out of the way so he can get with Una. Thus, the real objective of the mission is make sure he doesn't return alive. Quiet, both of you. There will be no whispering in my presence. I want to hear you talk about how much I'm going to murder your lover loud and clear. Una gives him the breathing potion and he drinks it. If you should be forced to remove your protective helmet, that potion will allow you to breathe for 60 Earth minutes. 90 if you get the 2-liter bottle of breathing potion. They start approaching the landing zone. Activate the aura of negativism, so that our landing will be unseen by any Earthlings. I know he just means cloaking device, but it sounds more like the ship is going to get really pessimistic about its chances to land. Captain, it is time for your departure. I know, Colonel, but space regulations provide a minimum 30-second period for farewells. A minimum 30 seconds? What happens if you don't actually like each other? Does everyone just kind of stand around awkwardly? Also, space regulations.
We get it, you're from space!
And so Mar-Vell puts on his helmet, telling Una that he'll be faithful to her forever and will return to her. He launches out, apparently having some flight capability. My airjet belt alone makes me a match for any dozen Earthlings. Check out my rockin' bling, Earthlings! Earth also has a stronger gravity than in the Kree galaxy, so he has superior strength and freedom of movement. But that's only true so long as I continue to wear my protective helmet and battlesuit. For, if it should be necessary to disguise myself with the simulated Earth clothes I've packed in my carry-all cylinder, my strength will decrease in exact proportion to the time I am exposed to this alien atmosphere.
Of course! Don't you know anything about science?
Also, gotta love Earth clothes, which, as we'll later reveal, are like some jeans, a brown jacket, and a yellow shirt. Would love it if it turned out they were monitoring like a Victoria's Secret and his Earth clothes were just lingerie. Anyway, he proceeds with his mission, hopping around and expositing out loud how recently, in an issue of Fantastic Four, humans managed to destroy an old Kree sentry. I haven't read it, so, like, a robot or something? They had placed here ages ago. Then, when we sent the gigantic Ronin, our public accuser, to avenge their deed, he too was defeated. Comic characters in the Silver Age really needed blogs. He says that he has to succeed where Ronin failed and spots a nearby missile base where they're preparing to fire a rocket. He realizes he might be detected. I've got to leave the area fast before they pick up the radiation factor built into my suit. They might detect that I'm radioactive. That can't be good. The rocket launches, but it starts mysteriously veering off course, so as a precaution, the rocket crew make it self-destruct. Apparently the radiation from his suit affected its guidance systems, which they realize upon checking the Geiger counter. Although maybe my old Doom comic reference a moment ago was accurate about him being radioactive, because how well shielded is the radiation from his suit if it's doing that to the thing? But yeah, Mar-Vell quickly makes his escape from the area. It's lucky I feel almost weightless in this gravity. My only hope is to move out of this area fast enough. Don't you mean your only hop? I'm not ready for battle yet. I intended to spend the first few days just reconnoitering, getting familiar with the terrain, and the people. In other words, hang out in bars and get wasted. They spot him on some sort of scope. Some sort of light plane, which... No, it's not a plane! Yeah, I can see why you mistook the white and green human-shaped object for a plane. Army personnel are dispatched to intercept him, managing to locate him and open fire when he refuses to stop. The best course is to use my Universal Beam Blaster! On sale now with a mail-in coupon! He switches the setting on it and fires. There! This sudden swatch of black light will blind them temporarily, but completely. My eyes! I can't see! Yeah, it's like a rave in gun form! With the soldiers blinded, he continues his escape. My beam blaster alone is worth 100 weapons such as theirs. Only in America. In Canada, the exchange rate is more like 50. He balks at the fact that humanity is as advanced about atomic energy as they are, but are unfamiliar with the galaxy's most common all-purpose weapon. Yeah, well, we're a backwater planet. We don't really have Space and Wesson out here. For the beam blaster can do almost anything. Well, then it's not as good as the Cosmic Cube. For the Cosmic Cube can do anything! I mean, one thing it definitely can't do is fix the art in this panel. What the hell's going on with his chest? It's like he's inflating. I guess that breathing potion blows you up like a balloon. Once he reaches a distant highway, he swaps out for his Earth clothes. Without my helmet, I'll be able to breathe the Earth air for only 1 hour. Yeah, kinda confused about your helmet. Do you breathe through your hair? Because that thing doesn't cover your mouth. I guess they did scout Earth a bit, which is why the clothes actually match the area, because Mar-Vell gets a truck to pick him up as a hitchhiker with a plausible story about being a hunter whose car broke down. The truck brings him to town, where he stops at a hotel. Luckily, I was given the proper currency for this area. Wait, what do you mean you don't take bitcoins? The clerk at the desk asks him to sign the register. I can't use my real name. Yeah, I mean, someone might recognize you. All I did was Americanize Mar-Vell to Marvel. Just signing the word Marvel as my name isn't suspicious at all. So this is how Earthlings live. $4 for a bottle of water? No mints on the pillows? What primitives! He briefly wonders if Una decided to shack up with the Colonel. Dude, it's barely been an hour since you left! But tosses that thought aside as he gets some kind of aching sensation in his wrist. Apparently this is something that his fellows are doing, teleporting a communicator onto his wrist, which in the process immobilizes him. Remember, girl, one slip may be forever fatal to your beloved captain. So, is there any reason you couldn't do this while he was still on the spaceship? Just saying, it would have been awkward if he had started fighting a bear or something, only to become paralyzed. I mean, why even do you need to teleport the Apple Watch onto his wrist? Why couldn't he just slip it on and bring it with him? This means I can never be free. I can be contacted anywhere, anytime, so long as I live. Seriously, they're gonna call me every day at 5 p.m. because they're stuck in traffic and bored. The communicator isn't just for the Colonel to call him. He soon receives a call from the Kree home planet itself. Captain Mar-Vell, heed the words of the Imperial Minister of the Supreme Intelligence. We are now instituting business casual wear for all offices. Actually, they just tell him that since the Sentry and Ronin both failed, his mission on Earth is up to him now, so don't screw it up. Know you this then, Space Warrior. You must succeed. Or die! Ugh, he always gets like this during Employee Evaluation Week. As the call ends, Mar-Vell starts feeling that the breathing potion is wearing off, so he quickly puts his helmet back on. And so our story ends with him gazing out a window, not able to see the ship that brought him here. Now here I stand, truly alone, unknown and unsuspected. I hold the fate of a planet within my hands. Better wash them or fate's gonna get really greasy. This story is... okay. Some of you are probably thinking that this is a bit of an abrupt ending, and it is. The story is only 15 pages long, and it doesn't really get into what exactly Mar-Vell's mission is. It seems to be simple espionage, maybe as prelude to invasion, but they never bother to actually explain that part. Others will probably say that it's a bit frustrating that I don't also cover the next issue, since that will probably be more of an origin story, but also is the first appearance of Carol Danvers, which definitely has more pop culture significance than the original Captain Marvel. And that's fair, but the thing is, last week was kind of exhausting. Not just for the country, but also I'm still kind of recovering from what happened in October, so you'll forgive me if I wanted to take things a bit easy with this review. We'll probably get to it next year. In the meantime, yeah, the coming of Captain Marvel is not particularly great. Aside from spending most of its time worrying about shoving the word space or intergalactic or whatnot in front of various words, not a lot happens. We learn a little about Mar-Vell and his motivations, his duty to the Kree, his love for Una, all that stuff, but it just feels like nothing much has been accomplished without that explanation of what we should be expecting from the book going forwards. The artwork is fine for the most part, just some weird bits like the puffed up chest that make me wonder what the hell the perspective is on some of it. Overall, the story is just not that impressive. Next time, this year we've seen a character that had a lot of rough times, so let's see if we can quickly show how he first got his feet moving. So this is how Earthlings live. Room service ends at 6 p.m.? What the hell?
Hello my friends, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notifications on new video releases. If you'd like to support future videos, you can check out my Patreon or purchase a t-shirt via Teespring or Shark Robot. Thanks for watching!